Hello, Ikigai Study Group. This week's Musing of an Ikigai Scholar is about Ikigai-kan. And I have been writing about Ikigai-kan is a guiding force. This happens to be part 5. And the topic is the rise of anxious generation and the need for life satisfaction. Here we go. Life satisfaction. The stronger the cravings for happiness, you might end up with some mental issues. It is widely believed that everyone wants their lives to be filled with things like happiness, bravery, and optimism. But how much we crave these feelings can vary from person to person. Some folks are really ambitious, always chasing after more, while others are more laid back. The stronger this craving gets, the harder it is to satisfy. And if you struggle to deal with your frustrations, you might end up with some mental issues. But think of it like always feeling hungry. Those who can't help but search for a fulfilling existence might face a lot of mental challenges. However, depending on how they go about it, they might discover some deep truth about what it means to be human and feel a richer ikigai-kan, experiencing a more fulfilling life. Mieko Kamiya, 1966. So, almost 60 years ago, Kamiya highlighted the intricate and challenging nature of our quest for happiness and fulfilling existence. The anxious generation is definitely on the rise. Just yesterday, I started reading The Anxious Generation: How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness. Height, 2024. After finishing Chapter 1, the research findings presented therein confirm my theory and observation regarding the increase in anxiety and depression among the younger generation, especially Gen Z, more so than among millennials, Gen X, and the boomers in the US. Jonathan Haidt, the researcher and author, provides us with a lot of notes and figures that are associated with the book, and it's freely available from his website, anxiousgeneration.com/resources/notes and figures. One of the figures I'm featuring on my blog post is about anxiety prevalence by age. So this graph clearly shows that the younger generation of ages 18 to 25 has shown the rapid increase of anxiety, 139% increase since 2010. While, for instance, ages 50 plus, and this would be the boomer generation in the current day, they showed 8% decrease since 2010. My theory as to why this is happening revolves around the ease of access to a deluge of data at a young age, particularly photos, videos, and stories depicting the lives of others. Whether these depictions are genuine or fabricated doesn't matter. In the Science of Well-being class, I learned that these portrayal of others' lives are called reference points, and they tend to induce a significant amount of anxiety. The more we view the lives of others and compare ourselves, the worse we tend to feel about our own circumstances. If you'd like to understand this concept in more detail, you can learn directly from Dr. Santos. The video is titled Happiness Problem Number 2B. We compare ourselves to other people, and it is available on YouTube. The essence of the explanation is encapsulated in these quotes. First one is from Dr. Lori Santos. Social media isn't just bad for body comparisons. We compare pretty much everything on social media. And all these comparisons make us really unhappy. Second one was quoted on the video. It's from Cory Doctorow. He says, "It cannot be repeated too much. You live your own blooper reel and experience everyone else's highlight reel." In essence, we are terrible at comparing ourselves with others. We compare our inner thoughts and feelings with the outward appearances of others, which are often curated and edited to look better than reality. Rarely do we see or hear what truly lies inside the minds of others, especially on social media. So, what can we do to reduce anxiety? In an interview with Amanpour and Company on PBS, Haidt suggested, "Don't give them the most powerful distraction devices ever invented to have in their pocket all the time, including when they are going to sleep, when they are in class, and so on." He goes on to suggest delaying young people's access to smartphones and social media until the age of 16. Just as other distracting devices and habit forming substances have received stricter rules, such as operating a car, consuming alcohol and tobacco products, access to social media should receive similar treatment. Now, what do you think? Your opinions may already be flooding your mind just by reading or hearing this short passage, aren't they? If you have a young child under your care, you may be thinking, but I need to provide a device to my child in order to stay connected. If you are younger than 16, which I highly doubt, I don't think anybody under the age of 16 is listening or reading my blog, your mind might say, it's not fair. All my friends have devices. I don't want my parents to use this book as yet another reason to delay my access to my social networks. My first thought was, did I do enough with my own daughters whose teenage years are ending or in the past? My immediate answer is no. So, what am I doing about this? First, I'm reminding myself not to judge the book by its cover. I should not form an opinion or make assumptions about someone or something based solely on the outward appearances. Second, I am following my Ikigai compass. I'm telling myself not to come to a realization without spending enough time reflecting and empathizing with the information I can gather on this topic. Currently, I am in a reflection and empathize mode, which involves reading the Anxious Generation book and watching interviews where Jonathan Haidt shares his thoughts with media pundits. I'm trying to get to know him a bit more and understand why he wrote the book and what motivates him to highlight the causality of social media on the anxiety epidemic. I've learned he has children younger than my own. I think his motives and my motives align as parents. We both have Gen Z children. Taking the time and effort, continuing the discussion is what's important. If you are looking for a silver bullet answer to what can we do to reduce anxiety, you may be disappointed that I am not providing you one. As I said before, I just finished reading chapter 1 of the book and viewed a few interviews. One thing I can commit to you is this: I will provide updates as I learn more about the anxious generation. I happen to be an individual who feels ikigai-kan when learning and explaining concepts that matter to people I care deeply about. This is what fulfills my life satisfaction. Thank you for listening or reading this edition of Musings of an Ikigai Scholar.